You are listening to Art Fusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Top 1260 AM KTRC and 1037 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. I am Ron Whitmore. We're recording this right from the front of Artisan, the art supply store on Cerrillos Road, and we are so excited because we are 1 week away from the Artisan Materials Expo, and that's the biggest event, instructional and material event for artists in the world, and it's held at the Buffalo Thunder Resort from September 28th through 30th, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit later in the show. But I have two really old, not physically old, but I have really long-term friends. I have Nancy Reyner. Welcome,
Hi,
Nancy.
Hi.
And Nancy's been on before, and Nancy and I go way back to, not that we were in first grade, but our kids were in first grade.
That's right.
And that was, we won't even say how long ago that was. That was a lot of years ago.
It was.
Okay, that's enough. And then we have Derek Fisher. Derek just got back from his 12,000 mile motorcycle. Is it 12,000 miles?
12,000 miles.
Oh my gosh. And he went all the way across the country on his motorcycle, and then he hurried back just to play on the radio.
Just
right?
to be on this show.
Okay. Well, what song do you got, Derek?
Oh, you want me to do it now?
I want you to do a song, yeah.
All right, I'll do it now. This is called Blues the Gypsy. I figured since I just got back from a long journey, I figured I'd play songs that had something to do with the road or traveling spirit or something like that. And this song has something to do with that.
Okay, cool.
Ready, Gino?
He's ready.
I've been running through my life like a cannonball in flight. Sometimes feel like stopping, but I'll fly on through the night. Can't say what I'm running from, or maybe running to. I can't settle down at all to even be with you. I can't lose the gypsy. I can't lose this driven call. I can't lose the gypsy. I can't seem to lose this wild gypsy fight soul at all. I can't lose the gypsy. Gypsy, oh. How much choice does one man have when he's tempted by a song? Where's the answer in his life to say what's right or wrong? Followed my heart's lead into this lightning shattered rain. All that I can give you is this gypsy soul to blame. I can't lose the gypsy. I can't lose this driven call. I can't lose the gypsy. I can't seem to lose this wild gypsy fight soul at all. I can't lose the gypsy. Gypsy, oh. Seems that I apologize for the pain and sorrow. I'll be here in the morning, but I might not be tomorrow. I've been running down the road since I was a child. The only explanation I can give you is this gypsy soul. That's wild. I can't lose the gypsy. I can't lose this driven call. lose the gypsy. Gypsy, oh, gypsy, can't lose the gypsy, can't lose the gypsy. Woo!
Derek Fisher.
Thank you.
If anybody could sing about being a gypsy, it would be Derek Fisher. And I can tell stories about Derek, but we'll save that for a little later on in the show. And they're all true. Derek does have that gypsy spirit. So, Nancy, welcome. It's great to have you back.
Thank you, and thank you for that beautiful song. Made me think about traveling.
Well, like we were saying, Derek just got back from 12,000 miles on a motorcycle, and he's done this before. And he actually has one of the shortest careers at Artisan. I think he worked here for 1 day. And we've only had one other employee that worked less than that, and that was a woman that we had when we were on St. Michael's, and she quit at noon. But,
Could have had the record.
but Derek is also, we'll talk about it later, but he's working on this fantastic film that I hope just blows and takes off. So there's so much talent sitting in this little circle right here. So, but Nancy, you haven't, I don't know, you on a year ago, or how long have you been?
It was one of your, you mean on this show?
Yeah, it was a
the
long
Art
time ago.
Fusion. It was one of the first ones.
December.
Because it wasn't here, it was at the radio station.
Oh, wow,
and
that
it
was the first one.
Okay, it was 5 feet by 5 feet with 5 of us in there, including musicians.
Yeah, we stuffed in a little cubicle there. Now we get to spread out on our little rug here.
This is nice. You're moving up? Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. But let's catch up on you, because for people that aren't familiar, Nancy is known, and just this is an informal title, as the queen of acrylic. And she's known as that because she's got multiple books out on acrylic. When we used to she used to be one of the demonstrators, or one of the, I forget what they called it, for golden acrylic, artist acrylic. And we would have her do a demo here. It would sell out months and months in advance, and it would be packed. And her books are fantastic because they're written in a very easy language to understand, and it's a how-to book where it's not just showing you how great she is. It's like, this is how you become great. And your books, all of them are acrylic illumination. What are all your books?
See, the first one was Acrylic Revolution, and that was maybe 10 years ago. It's still selling, and it's in Chinese and German.
Wow.
And I remember I always wanted to write a book, and so there was a student who said, "Oh, you should write this as a book." And I said, "I don't know how to write. I'm a painter." And she looked at me and she said, "If you don't write your book, then someone else will." And that really meant something to me. So I just called the publisher, and I just left a message saying I'm a painter, and I do these expos. And
well, it makes a huge difference. It's kind of like a musician that needs to have their CD out. If you have a CD, you have something to hand out, something that's concrete. And a book, I mean, it changed your life. I mean, not that you weren't as known before, but I mean, after that first book, it seemed like your career just started going through the roof. Is that right? Or?
Yeah, it was a big surprise. I mean, when I was writing it, everyone I met was writing a book. I'd say, "Oh, I'm writing a book." They're like, "Yeah, me too." Okay, well, I'll just write this book, and then one day I might not be teaching as much, and I can just have all the information there. It's interesting, like, people have dreams, and they sometimes feel like, "Oh, I might as well not do it because it's hard out there." Same with painters.
Yeah.
Painters say, "Oh, so many galleries, so many artists," but we're each individuals, and we each have our own way of saying things. And I don't know, that's why I like teaching so much. I like encouraging people to follow their dreams and express themselves, even if it doesn't sell well or whatever.
Well, we're going to be talking a whole lot about your teaching, because I know you've gotten into video now, and I want to explore that. But we got to take a break. You're listening to Art Fusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM. We'll be right back. Hang on. Fusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We were talking about Nancy that's going to be teaching at the Artisan Materials Expo, which is September 28th through 30th. And for those of you that just tuned in and don't know what that's about, we rent the Buffalo Thunder Resort from September 28th through the 30th, and all the vendors that Artisan buys from come into town. And they set up 86 vendor booths, and they're selling materials direct, so it's unbelievable prices on art supplies. And then we run 120 short art workshops that are either 3 hours or 6 hours, all materials included. We have 67 instructors coming from all over the country, a lot of local talent, and then a lot of people that come in for this. And it's turned in, we started it in 2000 at the old Sweeney Convention Center, but now it has turned into the largest instructional material event in the world. We're very proud of it because of the quality that we can offer in Santa Fe, because there's just so much talent here. We have talent in music, talent in artists. I wanted to also say, like Derek, the people that have heard Derek sing, Derek also has, we're talking about art fusion, and art fusion, the whole concept was that so many of the people that came at the front counter, they did so many things. I mean, they might be great painters, but they also are musicians, or they're dancers, or they're doing something. They've allowed that creative side of them to go free. And Derek has done one of the, I hope your TV series takes off, because he has,
So do I.
he has 9J, is that the?
9J.
9J. Why don't you tell a little bit about 9J, because this is a TV series he's trying to get going.
Yeah, 9J is the mispronunciation of the word ninja. Basically it is about it's shot in the 1800s, and it's written and shot in the style of the comedy series from the 60s, like Gilligan's Island and Green Acres and that. That's the type of humor that it is.
Yeah.
And it's about a dangerous, captured female Japanese ninja who is accidentally delivered to a southern gentleman plantation owner who's turned marshal in the New Mexico territory as his Chinese mail-order bride.
And it's,
So,
yeah. And it's absolutely hilarious. And you filmed it, you took a lot of local talent, because I know Sean Heelan's in it,
Scott Lee is in it.
Scott Lee, Masako, you
Masako.
grabbed Jade, who works here at Artisan, you grabbed him, and then you went out near Ghost Ranch, not at Ghost Ranch, but somewhere out near there and filmed.
Abiquiu and filmed. And we also filmed at the Bonanza Creek Movie Ranch, south of Santa Fe.
So if anyone listening has an extra $5 million, that's about what you need, right?
That's probably what it's going to be for the pilot.
So if you're sitting on $5 million and you don't know what to do with it right now, you could probably send them the clip that you did on that.
Absolutely. I think you may have actually hooked it up to your website.
Oh, is it hooked on their website? No, it's not.
It's not.
Okay,
I think it was going to be.
Well, you can contact here at Artisan. If you got $5 million, call me here at Artisan. We'll connect you with Derek. But it really is a very, very, very cool thing. And I wish you the best on getting it going.
Thank you. And speaking of films and stuff, I have to say hello to Roxy de la Hanzo, who is my friend down in Cape Town, South Africa. She's shooting a movie down there. She's a makeup artist.
Oh,
So,
okay.
hello, Roxy. How you doing down
Very cool. I hope she's listening.
there? I hope so too.
And besides, and we're talking about fusion too, like Nancy has a lot of business skills too. Like a lot of artists.
I don't have.
Well, seriously, I mean, you and your boyfriend have come out with this panel, which we sell at Artisan, which is, I think you found that there was a problem, and like a lot of artists, they don't, you solve the problem by developing a product that works for what you're doing. Usually what happens is then the product takes off, and then you become so busy with that you have no time for your artwork, but I won't tell you that anymore. But why don't you talk a little bit about how this panel thing happened?
Well, sure. I'm petite, as you can see, and I like working large. And so when you get panels, and I also like working on panels because I have a sander, I paint layers and I sand, and I also pour, which means an even surface. So I was getting these large panels, and I'm moving it, hauling it around my studio, and it's heavy. So I spent a couple of years researching how to do a lightweight panel, and I found this new material that's used for building, but it's a high density foam, which I don't paint on. Oops, sorry,
Yeah.
Mike. But it's veneered on both sides with poplar. Super lightweight, and then figured out how to make it into a nice panel. And I just was using it on my own, but all whoever my students were would come over, and then they'd come to the art store
They
and
had
say,
panel envy. They were
Ron,
holding your panel.
we want Nancy's panel. So Ron calls me up and he goes, what's this panel you're talking about? And I said, well, if you buy the material, you still need to construct it. You're going to need a carpenter. So eventually, I thought, well, here, Ron, just sell it.
Yeah.
My boyfriend Jim makes them. He's a good carpenter, and
You were doing the panel before Jim, though, right? Or no?
yeah, I was.
So did you find this boyfriend that could actually make the panel?
Yes,
Is that
I
the
did.
prerequisite in your dating thing? If you can make me a lightweight panel, I will date you.
Well, not to mention that Jim has also built me a dining room table, and I caught him right when he started the community college woodworking, and he needed projects, so I said, great. His family is now trying to intercept, we need a desk, we need this, and I'm like, oh no. One piece of furniture after another. But the panels, the other thing is that, Ron, you told me that when people want a custom size, because panels are
Right, everybody.
certain sizes, and then after 40 inches, they don't make them. So you can't get a custom size panel, and I want the size I want. So Jim makes them to size.
And the other problem with ordering them from a larger manufacturer is you wait like 90 days or 120 days to get any custom sizes, where if you order from you get them very
Does
quickly.
it in a few days. So you can't get these anywhere. I don't know any, unless you hire your own carpenter and order this wood product, which takes 2 months to get. It's really hard to get. So yeah, and it's a good deal. So it is more expensive than regular panels because you're using this product that's super lightweight, but the weight is about half the weight. If you have an ampersand board the same, is that terrible that I said ampersand?
No,
I love
no,
ampersand.
no.
But if you take an ampersand board the same size as these panels, the custom panels that you sell, it's half the weight.
But my point, even more than getting into your panel, was just like creativity. We're talking about.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, you can't get that, but I'm just saying, to create it, I mean,
Jim needs work.
Jim needs work. Nancy's boyfriend needs work.
I mean, I don't haven't made me so many panels.
I still find it very ironic that you were making this thing and your boyfriend that you find is a panel maker. I mean, to me, that's too big of a coincidence. I mean, but getting back to the creative part, is like there's a problem. I've seen other artists that have developed products like the easel palette, which Linda St. Clair developed. She was working on her easel, painting outside. There was not enough room for her to work, so she said, why don't they make a box? It just unfolds here. I can put my stuff. I can put my brushes. And so she, way back when, developed the easel palette. Eventually, another manufacturer picked it up and started making it and mass producing it. But that's the artist, they're teaching kids now, like in school, an MBA to get fine art degrees, because thinking outside the box. You got a problem, if you're creative, whether you're a songwriter or a filmmaker or you're an artist, it's like, hey, I know, I can think something that might do that. I mean, that's...
Ron, there's a book that I read, it was maybe out a couple of years, called The Whole Brain, I think, and they were writing how the high salary jobs are going to go to people who are creative, because the computer is taking over the non-creative functions, and they were saying that everybody needs... Our schools are a little behind. We need the gym, we need the art, we need the creativity. They keep taking it out because of funding, but...
Well, we've had MBAs that worked here at Artisan, and nothing against MBAs, but it's like, you get this cookie cutter degree, you come out and you have a certain way of looking at things. When we need to solve a problem at Artisan, I just get my team together here that are all artists and ask them, hey, we got this, how would you guys get ideas? Because they think outside the box. It's a different way of thinking, and not all the ideas are great. I mean, you got to edit them and pull them back in sometimes to make sure it makes sense.
And you started this talk about business.
Yeah.
So I look at business and my painting exactly the same. I say, what do I want to invent in the business marketing and also in the painting?
But the marketing that you've done has made so much difference in your career. What I'm saying is, I remember 20-something years ago back at the Sequia Madre, I mean, you were a good artist, but nobody knew you. These books, these videos, this online, your energy, just your teaching, it just kind of launched you. And we're out of time for this section, and this is Art Fusion, the art and music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We'll be right back with Nancy Reyner and Derek Fisher. Hang on. You are listening to Art Fusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We were talking with Nancy Reyner, and she was sharing a little bit about her getting into being an author and writing. She's written multiple books, and how that has helped her career as an artist, and basically just encouraging people to just do it. If it's, you know, you're encouraged to write something or to play something or to do it, you know, there's no time like the present. If you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. So, Derek, with that thought, are you going to do another song for us?
I'm going to do it.
Okay, do it. What's this one?
This one's called Diana's Dreams.
Okay.
It's self-explanatory. I could see the girl, she was running down the middle of the freeway. She was blowing smiles to the people passing by like it was easy. She smiled at me and began to fly. I knew what she was doing, but I can't say why. She flew into my heart, it seemed it was a dream. She became the memory that was crouching in the center of my mind. Life began exploding for the first time in my life like I'd been blind. She danced with me as we took the night. She knew what she was doing and I saw the light. She flew into my heart, it seemed it was a dream. Diana's dreams float like silk across the breeze, gliding past my smile, love's familiar ease. Diana's dreams slip between the seams, bringing rainbows and laughter and everything sweet. Children playing their games, wishing stars from the sky, touching hands we can fly. I was floating to her, but I had the strange sensation I was falling. The ground was getting closer, she caught me in her arms as love was calling. She danced with me as we took the night. She knew what she was doing and I saw the light. She flew into my heart, it seemed it was a dream. Diana's dreams know what to do with her heart when she smiles. She takes you there too. The world in her pocket, the sky in her eyes, in all of her mystery, Diana can fly.
talking with Derek a little bit later on in the show about his music and about his movie that he's got the, what do you call it, the trailer for it, and you're trying to get financing for it. It's a very cool film.
Television series.
Television series. But we were talking with Nancy and exploring how she was an author of books, but you've also now gotten, I don't know if you've always been, but now you're into video too, right? You're doing a lot of video work and stuff?
Yeah, I've been videotaping for a long time, a lot of my teaching and workshops, and now I have actually a new course.
Okay.
It's online, and it's I have 2 courses online. It's been an interesting journey working online, but I'm really liking it. One is on acrylic painting. It's everything you want to know. It's like all my books all together in 30 videos. You get all my books, all the videos, one big package, so you can learn on your own.
Wow.
And that's called The Complete Guide to Acrylic Painting. Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And the other course is different, and it's been interesting trying to figure out how to explain it to people, but it's really for artists that are already working. I found that in a lot of my workshops, there's tons of beginning workshops, but there's rarely any intermediate and advanced where artists have already been working, they already found their voice, maybe a year to 3 years, 5 years, and they're saying, okay, now what do I want to do? How do I make this work better? And there's nobody out there, and I love teaching those kind of concepts. So I have an online course. It runs once or twice a year for 8 weeks. The next one's coming up October 7, and it's only 20 people. And I'm getting a lot of international people from Norway, Australia, and everybody goes online together. We all see each other's faces and post our paintings, and I give them a series of concepts on how to analyze the work and make it better.
How do people find out about that if they wanted to explore that a little deeper? How do they contact you?
Anybody can go to my website.
Go to your website?
Yeah.
Which is
NancyReyner.com.
Okay. And you're also, like when we had your class, you're teaching 3 classes at the Arts and Materials Expo.
Correct. 2 workshops, 1 twice. The Gold Leaf is very popular, so I'm teaching that twice.
The Gold Leaf,
Excellent.
I think, was our first class to sell out. I think we went on, put the expo online, it was sold out in less than a month. So we added an identical class, that's completely sold out. So what is the 3rd class if someone wanted to get into that? What is all that all about?
Well, it's called Paint Something Different, and I decided to teach something different. I think as a teacher too, I want to stay just as inspired as I am a painter. And it's a way to break habits, a way to, for any artist at any level, I mean even a beginner can jump in. It's really a loose way of combining a whole lot of different processes and getting rid of patterns in your head so you can break out and do something different.
Okay, so that's like break habits, meaning you're not talking just bad habits, just the habits that you're painting habits to think of something different.
Let's say you're always painting landscapes, so you're always starting with a horizon line. So this time you're going to be going through a sketchbook and doing just background after background after background. And so I'll say, well, then don't put a horizon line in, do something different. How do you break up the space differently? And then we go through the book again and do second layers of mark making on top to kind of break up that background. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It's really playful.
How did you get into being such a gifted teacher? Have you always been a teacher?
My parents are both teachers, so the dinner table was constantly talking about how to teach better. And my father was, he passed away when he was only 52, but he was a very, very Pied Piper type of teacher in a bad section in Philadelphia. And there were just, when I was little and there was the funeral, there was just lines and lines. I'll never forget, he was just an English teacher, but he just really cared about people and he was one of the first to do like a new teaching system, open classroom. And
well, he's passed that on to you, because I don't know anybody, like we were talking about, I was trying to convince Nancy she needs to come to this party at Buffalo Thunder that we're going to have, and she, oh, I need to set up for the next day. There's no way, because I have to have everything ready and all this, and then she's already calling me on the phone. I think they moved my room, and then, she cares so much and so detailed. I can't even get her to party. But hang with that thought. You're listening to Art Fusion, the art and music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 1037 FM. We're going to be right back. Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 1037 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. we were talking we had a lot of talk on this break here, probably way too much talk, but it was all very, very interesting stuff. But one thing I want to touch on with Nancy is one part of your life too. I mean, you are a very, very gifted teacher, and that's why you have such a following with your books and your videos and the classes that you teach. But you also offer one-on-one type of stuff, right? You have a studio in town. Could you talk a little bit about that, what you're doing there?
Yeah, sure. I decided to stop traveling and teaching and just stay put in Santa Fe. And so I have a great big studio, and people can contact me through my website and have a one-on-one.
And you do way more than just acrylic. I was teasing that you're the acrylic queen because you're known for that, but you do gold leaf, acrylic. Do you work in other media too?
Yeah, in fact, sometimes I'll get students who say, I want to start painting and I have no idea what to use, and I actually set up in my studio a table for each medium, watercolor, oil painting, acrylic. I mean, not many teachers are multi-medium like that, and I'll do we'll just do a little painting on each table, pros and cons of each medium.
And how did you learn all that? Do you have an art degree? I never even...
Oh yeah, I got a bachelor's from Rhode Island School of Design, and there was a great teacher there who taught all the old master techniques. And it got me reading Ralph Mayer.
The Ralph Mayer
read
handbook?
Every Ralph Mayer handbook.
You read that thing?
I read, that's what I do.
It's like the Bible of art materials. It's like the thickest art
Instead
material.
of going to parties, like you said, I read. And so and for some reason it sticks in my head.
I didn't know anybody actually read that thing cover to cover.
Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
And so I do a lot of experimenting with other techniques and things, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
what do you actually paint, if I can jump in?
Sure,
What are your
right now, I'm painting. I love nature. A lot of people say they look like landscapes. I love the Asian aesthetics of long verticals where you have these beautiful meanderings going through. Half of my paintings are gold leaf, the other half aren't. But it's a lot of water and sky without too much realism, just sort of. I like to think of them as energy fields or meditative pieces. So pretty minimal, but
bright colors or muted or?
you know, I paint a lot, so I'll change. People often ask, how do I start? And I say, however I started the last painting, is I start differently. Next time. So every painting is
you're looking at everything
experiment.
fresh every time.
Yeah, some people, they'll find something and they'll just really go on it, you know, and that's fine. They'll just go deeper and deeper with that one thing, and I like to just change a lot, but it has turned into one. I like things to feel distilled, and like, to me, abstraction is allowing the viewer to have more of their own input into how they interpret the piece. And so I like to keep things pretty wide open, but it does have a feeling of nature and space.
And you kind of pulled out, am I wrong, out of the gallery scene and mostly doing your marketing director? Are you still doing gallery?
Mike Nikoski in art handles my work here in Santa Fe. He's a great guy.
Okay.
And
that's local.
I have a gallery in Boston, and I've been working with agents, which has been interesting. So I have one in Philadelphia, and
these are art agents that have collector base, or they present your work to collectors? Or how does that help?
If I have time, I'll tell you. It's kind of interesting because a lot of artists think galleries are the only scene, but actually my agent in Philadelphia, very interesting, let's say a law firm is 10,000 square feet in New York City, and they don't have time to get art, but they know art is important for their clients. So they'll interview agents who can fill their 10,000 square feet with art in like a month. So they'll all make a bid, and let's say she gets it, and they say, all right, for $250,000, fill our walls.
Yeah.
And she has X amount of artists, and she'll just go to me and say, all right, I need this size, like a lot of commissions. So
that's a very cool way to,
yeah, so I don't collect them and save them for a show anymore. I don't really do gallery shows anymore.
Yeah.
I'll just make them for commissions and my agent.
And how often are you still teaching? You're teaching at the Expo, but are you doing and teaching at your studio and your?
That's mostly it. I'm not traveling to teach much anymore. Just the studio and these online courses and Expo, of course.
That's a lot though. You balance a lot. Your average day, you get up early and go right at painting or business, or do you structure it anyway?
It's funny. I just put myself on a program, self-made program. I have to put in X amount of painting hours, 5 days a week.
You
Just to
work
get
hard.
back.
You work hard to be successful, though. There's a lesson. I mean, it's not like you just think you're that great at your art that you're going to rise to the top without doing some marketing, without going after it.
I do coaching too for artists in terms of marketing, and a lot of artists, they think, oh, the business part is such a small, think anybody can do it, but gosh, it's like 5-6 hours a day of computer work and answering the phone and emails, and so it's like 2 full-time jobs. So if you have a day job so that you can paint, and you want to do marketing and career too, that's like 3 jobs.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard.
Well, it really makes a difference, and I guess that was my point, because a lot of artists that don't have that drive to get the, I mean, there's incredible talent that comes through artists, and it's not always the best artists that are the most successful if you judge success as far as financial and whatever. I mean, it's the people that market themselves. I mean, you can't buy a painting if it's sitting in your closet. You know, they got to get it out somehow. So.
But there are some really simple ways that you know, like somebody could just take their paintings and throw a party, and at somebody's house, somebody else's house, you know, and just say, hey, I'm throwing a party one evening. I just want to show you my new work. Put price tags on it, have some cocktails, and make it fun. And the best thing I always
don't invite Nancy, because she'll be home reading the Ralph Mayer handbook. She doesn't go to parties.
No, but the best strategy is to just say, hey, I want to go to Bali. Let's say you have a goal, or I want to do something, and then you have a party that's just to fund that.
Okay. Well, Nancy, I like to tease you, but thank you so much. You are still the queen of acrylics in my book. And if you're interested in learning more about what Nancy's up to, please just look at her website, nancyreyner.com. Go to expoartisan.com if you're interested in taking the few spots that are left in your one class that has any spots in it at the Expo. So thank you so much for coming on the show. And we just have time for one more song from Derek Fisher. And what you got, Derek?
This one is called Life is Kind, and it's just kind of about living, going along with what
I think
happens.
being kind is an important theme for everybody right now.
And sometimes life isn't kind, you still got to deal with that too.
Yeah.
So this kind of deals with all of it. If I can remember it.
See the light growing brighter in the darkness. I know it's not a train coming. I can feel the weight, but I sense it getting lighter. Now I hear the world humming. Leather on my fingers, I'm leaning through the corner. My friends say I'm too close to dying. The storms are getting closer, I probably should be stopping. I'm just gonna keep on flying. And it's not so hard to be alone anymore. I can still be everything I wanted before. Don't know all the answers, I'm not afraid to find them. Questions will be close behind. I'll just go on living in the grace or with the fallen. When life is hard or life is kind. And it's not so hard to be alone anymore. I can still be everything I've wanted before. See a light in the darkness growing brighter. The answers will be close behind. And I'll just go on living in the grace or with the fallen. When life is hard or life is kind.
Woo! Beautiful. That's Derek Fisher. And thank you, Nancy Reyner. We are done. This is Art Fusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, 1037 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We will be back next week, next Thursday. Tune on in.